If you're like me, you love a good dog story. I mean, I grew up loving Lassie and The Littlest Hobo. That was a German Shepherd. And I only watched the Jetsons to see Astro. I think I've just dated myself. Okay, those of you who are a little younger, I'm sorry. Go Google them. They're mostly black and white, but I digress. I am here to introduce you to 6 dog stories. Each one of them 2.5 minutes long, so time will fly like that. But each one of them riveting. You're going to be taken away to 5 different countries. Yes, Norway and Costa Rica and Australia and South Africa, even exotic Canada. You'll meet dog and owners from these 5 countries. And the common denominator amongst them all, they all were in a point where they were overwhelmed or frustrated or didn't know what to do. Some of them, like Pooja, having sent her young German Shepherd puppy to a board and train that turned out to use a lot of harsh corrections on her puppy. And there's stories of celebration. Okay, I have gone on too long. Trust me, the stories are riveting. We've got a fella trying to deal with reactivity with his 10-year-old dog who tried everything. And we have a podcast listener who found their way to us through Shaped by Dog. All right, without further ado, let me introduce you to the 6 finalists in the 2023 Recallers Student Video Contest. They're amazing stories, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I did.
This is Pepper. She was rescued at 2 months from living under a porch in northern Manitoba. She was with a foster family in the suburbs of Toronto when my partner and I saw this photo of her and fell in love. From the beginning, things were a little crazy in our lives, but we knew the chance to rescue a puppy was rare. We were away volunteering as camp counselors when we interviewed with the rescue organization. When we returned back to Toronto, we found out we were chosen to adopt Pepper. She was going to be my first dog, and so my casual interest in dog training videos went into overdrive. I first heard about Susan Garrett on the Tim Ferriss podcast, and when she described It's Your Choice, I thought it just made so much sense. The first time I tried it with her, I was floored at how quickly she was able to control her impulses and calm herself to get what she wanted. I immediately signed us up for Homeschool the Dog. I tried my best to keep her from rehearsing undesirable behavior, but we had promised my 12-year-old niece and her friend that we would take them on a backcountry camping trip. The first night sleeping in a tent was rough, but throughout the 4-day trip she was calm in the canoe and had learned the rules of tug well enough that my niece could play safely with her. And then life threw us a curveball when my partner got a job offer that would take us to Yellowknife in the far north of Canada. In 6 weeks, we packed up our life in Toronto, bought a new Subaru, some hardcore winter tires, and the biggest crate that would fit into it, and the 3 of us set off on a 6-day drive to our new life 5,000 kilometers away. Soon after we arrived, I convinced my partner to invest in Recallers. We wanted to be able to have her off-leash while backcountry camping in bear country and needed a rock-solid recall. And then, just as we were getting settled to life in the north, practicing our recalls in the middle of a frozen lake, the death of a parent meant that we had to travel down to Texas somehow. She was still young, not yet spayed, and not trained enough to leave behind. So we packed up Pepper's bedroom into the car once again and set off on another road trip adventure. Through all the craziness, the one sense of stability and consistency for Pepper was our Recallers games. Even if all we could do was play crate games or tug or hide and seek in a motel room, every day we worked on growing our connection and her sense of confidence. And I think it's paid off already for her to be well-mannered walking down motel hallways and to be left alone in her crate without barking. I think she understands that no matter where we are, when she hops it up into the car, she trusts me and knows that fun things will happen. And I'm certain that as we continue to play our Recallers games, we will achieve our goals and I can give her the freedom that she deserves.
When I was going through old material in order to think about how I wanted to approach my video entry this year, what hit me the hardest was not only how different my approach was when Moshi was a puppy, but more so how my beliefs about him and his breed were so absolute. I grew up showing dogs. That's how I discovered and fell in love with the Shiba Inu. I handled many different breeds as a kid and literally grew up with people telling me what to believe about all these dogs. This breed is hard, they need a firm hand. These dogs are stupid. This dog is stubborn, tell him he's wrong and make sure he listens to you. Shibas are naughty, willful, destructive, dramatic, dominant. Whether I was aware of it or not, this stayed with me for over a decade until I got my first dog as an adult. All those familiar words started to surface as people met Moshi. He's so naughty. He is destructive. He is so stubborn. He's so fussy. You need to starve him. Look how he's mouthing you. He's trying to dominate you. You're never going to be able to get a reliable recall from a Shiba. A little while later, I figured out that he was struggling with hyperarousal, and so some more words came up. He is over the top. You'll never be able to take him anywhere. He doesn't have any impulse control. You'll never have control around wildlife. Susan and recallers helped me understand that I was limiting my dog with all these words and labels. Everything became about what he couldn't do. Yes, breeds definitely have certain traits and tendencies that we need to be aware of, but this shouldn't mean that we make up our minds about who our dogs are or settle because we feel our efforts will be futile. Discovering the do-land approach through recallers not only helped me with my training, it helped me to know and communicate intimately with my dog. Recallers empowered Moshi to make good choices and to show me just how brilliant he can be. I'm now more mindful about the words I use to describe him, and I let go of the words of others who label him without understanding him. In my seeing him, I too feel seen. Recallers is so much more than dog training.
bien, Lukis. ¿Eres un poquito? Muy bien, Luca. Qué lindo, Luca.
Hi, my name is Leo and the lady in the background is my mommy, Pooja. and this is our recaller's journey. Mommy and Daddy bought me when I was just 9 weeks old. Everyone in my family loved me. My life before recallers. Mommy says I had chewed up 3 beds by the time I was 6 months old. In my defense, I would say it happened because I was teething. I really hated when someone tried to put leash on me. I liked it better as a tug toy. I was quite rebellious and took orders from no one.
Hey, no!
Mommy and Daddy thought training me was not their cup of tea, so they decided to send me for a board and train program for 6 weeks. This training didn't involve treats. They scared me by making loud noises if I didn't listen. I was so unhappy that I stopped eating and injured my legs. When Mommy and Daddy came to pick me up, I was so happy that I somehow got up from my bed and hugged their legs. Seeing me limping, my mommy was in tears. Luckily, just around that time, Mommy found Susan Garrett's Dogs That podcast, and she instantly fell in love with her philosophy of dog training. She promised me that she would never give up on me again and would learn how to train me. On my first birthday, Mommy signed up for recallers, and that was a turning point in our relationship. My life with recallers. Now I have started loving my bed and crate. I also listen to Mommy. I swear I do. Thank God Mommy has started recording my good boy behaviors too.
Sit. Lay down. On your side. Good boy.
As soon as Mommy calls me, I go flying to her.
Poochie. Good boy. Good boy.
Now I feel better connected with my mommy and love following her in the reinforcement zone. That is all I would like to say today. I hope you liked my story. Thank you, Susan Garrett and Dogs That team, for teaching my mommy how to train me using games. Recallers is not just a program, but a way of life for us.
Hello, I'm Sigrid from Norway, and this is Echo, my Australian Shepherd. He's 8 months old, and this is our recallers journey so far.
Thank you for watching, and please hit a like on the video. Show some love to the people and their dog stories. And hey, click the link in the description of this video to watch the connected dog and learn how possibly maybe next year yours will be one of the courageous stories of overcoming that we're celebrating. I'll see you next time.